You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by Minor Family Dentistry and by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History. Minor Family Dentistry would like to bring you the following dental health tip. It's recommended to have a dental checkup no later than your child's first birthday. An adult should brush for a young child and monitor older children's brushing to ensure a good job is done. Flossing should start when teeth are touching. Minor Family Dentistry wishes you good dental health. Families, including children of all ages, are welcome. Minor Family Dentistry, 1010 Downing and Hayes. Find them in the Next Tech directory.
So, you think you have skeletons in your closet? Come to Sternberg Museum, where we let our skeletons out of the closet.
Hello, and welcome to You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. My name is Dana Stanton, and I'm the coordinator of the West Central Kansas Smart Start program. And with me today is Dr. Squire. Good morning, Dr. Squire.
Hello, how are you?
Fine. Now, first of all, tell us, where do you work and what do you do there?
I am a pediatrician. I am a pediatrician at Hayes Medical Center in the Pediatric Center. And the Pediatric Center is a dedicated clinic to children. So we see children from newborns all the way up to the age of 18. And we see them for sick visits, for well visits. We do hospitalizations. We see kids in the nursery. We do it all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, so that's very appropriate for our show here today.
Absolutely.
All right. Now, today we're going to talk about a specific subject, that is pertussis. A lot of people might not even know what pertussis is. So what is pertussis?
Okay. Pertussis is a very serious, highly infectious disease. It is a respiratory infection. It is most commonly known as whooping cough. And I think that's how everybody knows whooping cough. You know, my parents had whooping cough, everybody. Anyways, the most important thing to remember about pertussis, it is a vaccine preventable disease. This is a disease that is very serious and very contagious, but we have a vaccine to prevent it. Part of the problems with pertussis, though, is that when it does show up in our communities, and we do have outbreaks of it for various reasons. It is still very much a present disease. But the problem is that it's hard to diagnose. In other words, it doesn't look like much until it's pertussis, until it's full-blown. And then it can also last a really, really long time. And that is where we get so concerned. We want to make sure that we can prevent people from spreading it to so many other people before they actually get diagnosed. There's really about 3 stages of pertussis. And the first one, I think this is kind of the difficulty. Pertussis, by the time you're exposed to it and by the time you completely resolve your symptoms, can be upwards of months. I mean, you can literally have this disease, this infection for months.
So everybody in Walmart that you ran into could be exposed.
Well, yeah, absolutely, not to make people paranoid, but yes, absolutely. And the first stage looks like the cold. I mean, most people don't really get any type of treatment for the first stage. It can last for a week or 2. You get a little runny nose, a little low-grade fever, maybe a mild cough, but you know, you're like, whatever, it's a cold. But the second stage is where really that whole whooping cough thing comes in, and that one, by itself, this stage can last 1 to 6 weeks, and it is what is particularly concerning for young children, all right, and infants. Infants get particularly sick at this stage. It's called the paroxysmal stage. It's those bursts of coughing. People honestly can't stop coughing. Rapid, numerous coughs. They can last minutes. It can go on, and then at the end of the little coughing bursts, they have this characteristic and that's where the whoop comes from. And that's where we think of as the whooping cough. For infants during this stage, they can look very sick. They can turn blue during these coughing fits. They can run into problems with fluids and vomiting and all sorts of really bad problems. At the end of that stage, it rolls into the convalescent stage or the recovery stage. You can still have coughing fits. They're just not as numerous, and it's not as not as dangerous. It's not as hard on the body, and they can be re-triggered by subsequent infections. But during this whole phase, you know, which can now last out to several months, you can still be passing pertussis on to all of those around you.
Now, you mentioned infants. Are there certain groups that are more susceptible
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. In my case, and actually for most of medicine, certainly we think of the frail as being the most susceptible to this disease. And in my case, it's specifically the non-immunized or the under-immunized, which, yes, is infants. Infants and young children, really basically kids under the age of 3, but most specifically under the age of 12 months. What pertussis, why it's particularly bad is this age group, basically, they're the ones who get these secondary problems with pertussis. They get bad pneumonias. They can get really bad ear infections. You know, we treat ear infections all the time, but these can be particularly bad. They can go into the brain. They can get brain infections from pertussis. They also run into problems with, and this is, particularly devastating in a very young infant, they run into problems with hypoxia. And hypoxia is where you don't get enough oxygen to your body tissues, but specifically to the brain. And they can end up with seizures. They can end up with swelling of the brain. They can end up with coma. And not to mince words, pertussis is deadly in this age group. And if you look at the pertussis-related deaths in the United States per year, 85% of those deaths are under the age of 3. So the really, and this is what the point I think that we really want to drive home. Unfortunately, these kids get pertussis not from their 6-year-old sibling that came home from school. They get it from their parents. It's us as adults that kind of carry around this pertussis because as we age, the immunity to that pertussis wanes. And as adults, we sometimes get pertussis, and even as adolescents, let's say late teenagers can get this too. And we may get pertussis. It's not as severe, so we may get really bad coughing. We may go to the doctor. They may recognize it as pertussis, or they may not. You may get an antibiotic and a little steroid. But really, unless it's truly recognized as pertussis, you can then go home and spread it to your family members, your coworkers, and again, because of that length of time that it lasts.
Now,
So
I have a question. What can you do to prevent it? Are there certain measures other than just getting vaccinated?
Sure. Well, actually, that is the most important thing to do. And I'll tell you the reason why. First of all, it's like we said before, completely vaccine preventable. So as long as we are keeping up on our vaccines, okay, then we are able to effectively control pertussis. So the first thing, get kids vaccinated. Make sure they're up on their vaccine schedules. We give the kid version of the pertussis vaccine, which is called DTaP, okay, which is diphtheria, tetanus, and acellular pertussis. And that's given at 2 months, 4 months, 6 months, 15 to 18 months, and 4 to 6 years. So that's that primary series, and you can see how kids really aren't immunized until they're actually upwards into that 4 to 6 years. Now, granted, each successive pertussis vaccine helps with that immunity, okay? But ultimately, that's why that under age 12 months, okay, is most susceptible. The second thing we need to do is get adolescents vaccinated. So remember to get your adolescent teenager, okay, at 11 to 12 years, they need an adult pertussis booster, okay? It's their tetanus and pertussis booster. This goes under the trade name Adacel. This is where we can do the most, okay, because it's the same vaccine that we would get as adults, all right? So check with your provider, your doctor, check with the health department, get everyone around that baby, that infant, that young child, okay, cocoon them, essentially, with people, with adults that have been immunized. It's going to be, grandparents, uncles and aunts, adult siblings, babysitters, daycare providers, everybody, okay? This is a very easy vaccine to get. It is very easily tolerated. It's your tetanus booster, so it's what you need anyways.
Now, if someone wants more information, who do they go to? Do they just call their own doctor? How does that work?
They can do a whole bunch of different stuff. They can contact their doctor, and certainly their doctor, is going to know most about, their kind of problems with potentially receiving the pertussis vaccine, but very few people shouldn't get the vaccine, okay? So, they can contact their doctor, they can contact the health department, okay, and certainly the health department has lots of resources. They can also go to the Hayes Medical Center webpage, and they can go to the pediatric clinic, and we have a website up that provides information and links to pertussis. I think the best website out there that gets you all of this kind of inclusive information is still the CDC, and that's www.cdc.gov.
And we'll put that on the bottom of our screen.
Awesome, awesome. And, the one other thing I was going to actually say is that we have a lot of kids that are at the Peds Clinic. We do have a very limited amount of adult or the Adacel vaccine that we can give for free to family members of young infants. So those kids under the age of 12 months, if there's a family member that needs an Adacel vaccine, you can contact us. While the supply of that vaccine lasts, we can give it for free.
Wonderful. That's awesome information. Great to have. Thank you so much, Dr. Swire.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
You've been watching You and Your Young Child, the program devoted to early childhood. Parents, remember, you are your child's first and best teacher.
Thanks for watching You and Your Young Child, a program of information and services available for you and your child from prenatal to age 5. You can watch the program weekdays in the noon and 9 o'clock hours. You and Your Young Child has been brought to you in part by Minor Family Dentistry and by the Sternberg Museum of Natural History.